All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Apologies right off the top. Sorry, I forgot that I had scheduled this for 12:30, but mentally, and I also think in the Discord I said we'd probably be going live around 1. I had a meeting at 12, and then I was ambitious that I was like, oh, we'll just do this at 12:30, and then I totally forgot when my meeting was over because I had one in my head, so I apologize. This is what we're going to do. We're going to quickly go through tonight and tomorrow's NBA slate. Should be relatively easy. The error on my part, guys. We actually, I believe, have a 4-game slate tomorrow. We might end up doing, I think what we'll do is just cover tonight's slate. And then tomorrow we'll fire up something because I think tomorrow will be a little bit more interesting with 4 games. We'll have an update on some injury stuff. We'll also quickly do some SORARE MLB stuff. But I want to say, too, off the top, the last time we all chatted, it was in the midst of the SORARE drama. And I think what we had asked for was some transparency and some just like understanding of what went down. And I think like within a couple of hours of the show ending, I'm not saying we did this, but within a couple of hours of the show ending, they told us what happened, who was responsible and what the outcome of that was, and like the scope of it. And they even confirmed it did not impact the NBA. They've made some moves to right the ship, right? People are going to get some essence. They're redoing some rewards. So, I mean, we can take that. I think that's as good as a W. Like, yes, it would have been nice if, this didn't happen. But I do think all you can control after the fact is how you respond to it. And that seemed pretty good. I don't know what the overall community sentiment was. I didn't go into the general channel of the Discord too much, or around the horn, or whatever we call it. So I'm sure there were still some pissed off people, and like whatever, you can be pissed. But I think ultimately not a bad look in how they responded. So at least that's how I feel about it. Let's talk some hoopy hoops. So we have Cleveland and Miami tonight. We're still waiting on some injury stuff, right? We're still waiting on Darius Garland. I'm assuming he's going to be back, but they're up 3-0, so they can be cautious. We still don't have the Jimmy Butler news either. So we'll talk through them both as if they are both in and then both out and how that would impact everything. Let's go over to our friends over at Top Tier Projections and see what that looks like. We're going to start with Miami. Let's start with the Miami side of things. Let me share that screen. Let's allow them cookies. And so here we go. We've got you're seeing now. Tonight is really tough. Actually, I should talk about the contest as a whole right now. We're down to the end of the road here. Shout out the boys to men. Right, with the play-ins done, obviously, and we're coming to the ends of some of these round 1 series, which means you don't have too many shots left to get one of those top scores. So tonight we could see Cleveland close out, and then tomorrow you could see teams like the Celtics, like the Knicks close out. Who am I forgetting? The Minnesota Timberwolves as well. So it's going to be getting a little bit harder. So I would try to get a little bit more aggressive. Here you go. This guy gets it. Here we've come to the end of the road. There we go. Beautiful. Tonight, the rest of the way, I'd be pretty aggressive with some of my takes if you were building lineups. I think tomorrow night is going to be the last time we get 4 games in the same day, probably for the rest of the year. So tomorrow would be the night to get pretty aggressive and to try to get a high score. And then tonight, if you get some takes, I would lean in aggressively to them takes. Let's do it though. Let's talk some Warrior. Let's talk some Miami Heat. So Bam's cap's pretty high. So is Hero, right? You got Bam cap 48, projection of 40. If you're playing Bam, you're basically picking him as your MVP. Whatever. You want to be different. I don't hate it. Tyler Hero's got a cap of 41 with a projection of 38. Andrew Wiggins has been pretty MIA, and for a cap of 35, I would stay away from it. I honestly prefer Davion Mitchell over Andrew Wiggins. Khalil Ware's cap is of 26. I don't think you can do that. There's Haywood Highsmith is down there. Nikola Jovic, Duncan Robinson. I think if you wanted to take a shot on somebody, maybe Jovic has slowly started to play himself into better shape, right? He's got his legs under him. We've got, Haywood Highsmith is a little bit dinged up. Duncan Robinson's a little bit dinged up. Maybe you just let it rip. Wait, Jovic 7 last game? Told you? No. Oh, yeah. I know, but you know what, Stan? I'll be honest with you, man. I was looking at it a little bit longer or a little bit further, and you talked me into it a little bit. You talked me into it. So I don't really know. Again, you're just throwing darts at this point, and I think if you compare, I guess Highsmith and maybe Highsmith would have a higher ceiling than Jovic just in name alone. But I think Duncan Robinson is clearly in third for me in that, because Duncan Robinson, he really just has to hit all those threes. Like we saw, as Stan pointed out, when Jovic had that 11.8 rebound game, he's got a couple of different ways of getting you there. So does Highsmith too. But I really Hero to me is the clear play out of all of these guys. Everybody else I don't love. Stan, do you think Jaime Jaquez is getting some run? That's pretty interesting if you think he's getting some run. Although, what's his cap at? Yeah, his cap's only at 14. Listen, see, this is Stan. Oh, God, it's nerve-wracking to give you W's here. But that is the type of take that I think is how you have to approach these two-game slates when you're just trying to get a high score. If everybody else is going to be focused on those other guys and their ceiling is what, 24? And then you could save 5 or 6 on cap with a play at 14 that no one else is going to play, and then maybe he cooks. Also, there's definitely in the world of possibility that Miami just lets go of the rope and gets blown out tonight, even though Tyler Hero said that wouldn't happen. So I think that covers Miami. Hero, Bam, if you need to do it. Otherwise, just throw a dart between those other Heat players we were just talking about. Also, rest in peace, Kevin Love's dad. He had a very touching tribute on the Instagram after losing his pops. And I didn't realize that's why he was away from the team as long as he's been recently. But all right, let's go to Cleveland next. Now, we're still waiting on the Garland news, and if Garland goes, cap of 36, projection of 33. I think the biggest takeaway we saw, right, Donovan Mitchell had a pretty poor shooting night, which ruined most of my Splash Sports contests. But if Mitchell is out, the biggest thing we saw was Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter take a little bit more of an offensive load. I think Ty Jerome is probably safe with or without Garland. Obviously, a higher ceiling without Garland. DeAndre Hunter was, I thought, pretty Garland dependent. But when you see Ty Jerome's cap is 28, Hunter's 25, I think Max Strus, if he's shooting the 3-ball well, you could get there. Sam Merrill was the guy who started for Garland, but to me, the clear winners were Jerome and Hunter in that world. So Jared Allen coming off a pretty big performance. They seem to have a good mismatch with Jared Allen versus Khalil Ware. It's a couple games in a row where he's just absolutely cooked him. So JA with that low cap, I think you can get there. But those are probably my favorite. I think Donovan Mitchell's cap's honestly too high. You're only playing Donovan Mitchell if he's your MVP. And I think I honestly prefer some of those other MVP options. The reason I prefer the Miami guys a little bit more is if Miami has a good game, it's because Hero and or Bam both cook, and so it's a clear understanding. We're the usage is condensed, right? Where with Cleveland, we've seen Ty Jerome have a game, Garland have a game, Mitchell have a game, Mobley have a game. It could be any of those guys. So that's kind of where I land on the MVP stuff. Stan says, didn't know his name. I didn't know it was Stan Love either. Wow. Ryan says, I think they will wait till he's fully ready given the results of their last game. Do you think we'll talk about Golden State. Let's do Golden State now. Again, we're just going to do these 2 games tonight. Because we have 4 games tomorrow, I'll do a separate video tomorrow for tomorrow's slate. So for the Warriors, right? Steph, obviously the best play. Jimmy Butler's going to cap a 40, the projection of 37. Draymond Green is going to provide some value tonight, even though this has not been like a great statistical matchup for him against the Rockets with the cap of 24. You like that. But honestly, Quentin Post seems to be the guy. Quentin Post has done an excellent job rim protecting for Golden State. He was great in game 3. And if Jimmy is sitting in this one, then that definitely boosts up Quentin Post, Pajemski, Draymond, Gary Payton, Moses Moody. Like all of those guys get a boost. So I think like Pajemski, I don't really love as a play if Jimmy's in. If he's out, I think he's great. Gary Payton is fine. Same thing with Moses Moody. Both of those guys are fine plays if Jimmy or they're good plays if Jimmy sits. They're okay plays. Like what we like about these down here of Post, Payton, Modi, even Buddy, is that the cap is low enough that it allows you to mess around with some stuff. To the question about Jimmy, if Jimmy plays, I think he's going to be close to 100%. So if you are like, I don't want to run Jimmy out. Like, I don't think Golden State up 2-1 at home are going to rush Jimmy back if Jimmy's not healthy. At least that's my take. Like, I don't think we're going to see Jimmy play 20 minutes unless he's not like, that's not going to be their intent. Maybe Jimmy goes out there and he can't move around like they thought he was going to move around. But my understanding is they will test him aggressively today during shoot around and then again at warmups. And then if Jimmy is given the green light, then I think you play Jimmy. I think what I would try to do here, actually, I haven't checked this out on SORARE. Can you make adjustments to lineups after lock? Like if the game hasn't started, you can still tweak it, right? So like if you played Jimmy, I think what I would want to do if we don't know if Jimmy's going, let's pull up Houston here in a second. If we don't know if Jimmy's going, like you could just pivot to Sengun or even Amen Thompson, something like that. I think that's a direction you could go. But yeah, I think Jimmy, and yeah, we're talking daily, not the biweekly. I'm not really interested in the biweekly. Yeah, I think I would hope to have Sengun as my in my roster. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to play Jimmy, but you're nervous Jimmy doesn't go, we find out at like 9:15 Eastern time that Jimmy's not going to play. You could pivot from Jimmy to Sengun or Jimmy to Jalen Green, something like that. And yeah, to Al Hor's point, right? There really isn't a lot of value tonight. I think for the lower stuff, it's those Golden State guys and the Miami guys. If I like the Golden State guys better than Miami. I think Quentin Post, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, Gary Payton, those are the spots to get to. And I agree with what Windy City's saying now that he's changed his tagger name in there. Quentin Post is by far the best value of all of them. With a cap of 11, we know he's out there for rim protection. I think he can get there. So those are the best ones. I think Houston provides some stuff too, like Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. I said this morning during the NBA bit. I'm kind of leaning a little heavy on letting Tyree Eason do a little bit more running. I know he only played like 19 or 20 something minutes in the most recent game. I kind of feel like they need to play Tyree Eason more. So that would be my bold take, is that for Houston, Tyree Eason is like the best like value guy. I think he maybe puts up 40 SORARE points in this one. That's going to be my hot take. But cap of 25 makes it a little bit tricky. So I think for the Houston side of stuff, Steven Adams cap has kind of got back. I don't think we can go to it. Matu is saying, yeah, Matu, that's what I was just saying. I think Quentin Post is by far the best value on the slate, regardless if Jimmy goes or not. Obviously, his ceiling is a little bit higher if Jimmy does not play. But I think of all of those guys, that's my favorite one. I don't think you can go to Kuminga today. His cap is 19. He's been dog due. I don't think you could play him. So that would be my lean. Post would be my favorite. Peyton would be my second favorite, followed by Moses and then Buddy. That's how I'd rank them. Honestly, and I think I like all four of those guys, maybe except for Buddy. And Moody. I think I like all of those guys better than the Miami guys. I just think there's a clearer pathway to them playing. And again, if Jimmy plays, like that definitely dwarfs some of those minutes, and then they kind of play the hot hand down the stretch of Pajemski, Moody, Buddy, and Peyton. But I think what Peyton did in Game 3, I think he's just a more integral part to their closing rotation. So I do think Post can really benefit off of Jimmy's passing. Yeah, I think that's true too. Post is he's just a good fit for this matchup against Houston. I think he's really proven himself. He's been fun. He's a fun player. He's a dog. But I think that's it for tonight. I think if I was ranking MVPs, I think Steph is a clear one. I honestly think I would rank them Steph, Tyler Hero and Bam might go 2-3. Again, I think Cleveland's too hard to figure out. Off topic, but do anyone know how to buy a channel membership on I actually don't know how to do that, Alhor. I don't. That's a good. I don't know. I should know how to do that. Is there no like join now button or anything like that? That's usually how you do it. Man, my voice is killing me today. This is going to be a tough week, I think. So do you guys have any other questions about tonight's slate? I mean, I know it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty gross. And that's what I mean. Like, you really got to take advantage of those bigger slates. I just think it's only going to get harder from here. Just like a quick look ahead at tomorrow, which again, I'm not going to break it down because I will be back probably around the same. I think I have a meeting at 2 tomorrow. So I'll probably do it right at 1 o'clock. And then if I'm a real dumbass, I'll schedule it for 12:30 and just show up a half hour late again. But tomorrow we've got game 5, of Milwaukee and the Pacers, which that will have like AJ Green will probably stick out. We've got game 5 of Knicks and Pistons, game 5 of Celtics and Magic, and then game 5 of Denver and Clippers. So tomorrow, definitely a better chance at some high scoring, but probably again, it's gonna be hard. What do you think about Mobley? I mean, listen, I think he's fine, Matu. Like, I don't want to say. I guess what I was saying about Cleveland, I don't think any of them are bad plays. What I like about the Steph Jimmy case and what I like about the Tyler Bam case is that it is a clear, like, their offense clearly runs through those two guys, where the Cavs have 5 different guys that can put up 22, 24 plus points, And so when I'm just shooting for straight ceiling, and again, I'm sure everybody else is thinking that too. But I think Mobley, this is still a good matchup for Mobley and for Jared Allen. I think they're both fine. Thanks, Al Hoare. But yeah, I think that's so. I'm not trying to disparage Mobley. I think Mobley is a great play. But when you're comparing him to like the straight up MVPs, I think to me, Steph and Jimmy, even Jimmy, if he's not I think if he's playing, he's going to be 100%. I guess Mobley's the same to me as Sengun, which totally fine. Man, Tesla, I have a feeling, Tesla, you're actually not watching ball. I was thinking about that in the most recent game where I saw Mobley take somebody off the dribble and then drop the pass off to Allen, I think, who threw it down. I think it was Allen or Hunter. I'm beginning to think you maybe aren't watching Mobley ball, that you've ground down a take of making sure that Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year, and then after that, it was over. But at least you watched this. Hell yeah. Look at Tesla. See, there you go. Al Hoare, you might just be able to snag that one right there. But you know what, Tesla? Even if you're not watching ball, and even if you are, and you're just committing aggressively to a bit, I respect the hell out of it. I'm here for it. Oh, Magic Mario's in the house. But yeah, I think that's how I'd break down the slate. I think the value comes from Golden State, Miami secondary value. I think that middle of the road. My hot take for today is Tari Eason. I'm thinking Ime Udoka has the same thought process that I do. Not about everything. And that Tari Eason gets a little bit more run today. I think that's what they should do. Also, Jabari Smith Jr. has been playing some pretty good ball. His cap's 25, so it's a little bit harder to get to. But shout out Jabari Smith Jr. I feel like he's having a better little run. Like, he's he's like an elite role player. You just want him to defend. Yeah, I don't know if he's creating shots for himself, Tesla. I will say I was watching that game on mute while my in-laws were talking, and Mobley I really did think of you, because I think he was on. It wasn't like the corner 3, but it was like over in that direction, and he took somebody off the dribble and then dropped off a nice pass. And I was like, oh shit. All right? DJ says he wishes Jabari would start. I mean, he's earned it, man. He's been playing really good. What are your thoughts on my Tari Eason take, though, local? Since you're boots on the ground, are we pro Tari Eason more minutes, or do you think that's fool's gold? Fool's gold from Zakarian. I think what I'm going to do here is pivot over to some baseball stuff, just to quickly go through it. I'm just going to do the same thing. We'll go through some of the matchups. There's a lot of teams with 4 games this game week. And then if you still have basketball questions, keep firing them in. You can keep talking hoops. I just wanted to get to some of the baseball, and then I got to build some lineups here. Also, we got a top 40. I think we finished 39th in the limited championship. Shout out to our guy DJ Local, not DJ Local. Well, shout out to DJ Local, but our guy Jump Shoot, he took down first place, won some cold hard cash. Little Shohei Ohtani We finished in 39th. We got a Julio Rodriguez, and then some cold hard cash. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let me blow this up a little bit. We got a bunch of teams with 4 games this game week. Also, right about now is when my camera crapped out in the last time we did this show. So stand by for some technical difficulties, all right? All right, let's start off with our first 4 gamer. You got the Oakland Athletics. They don't have the best of pitching matchups because they're going up against DeGrom and Eovaldi. So if you are a matchup-focused person and you're like, maybe I should – everyone's going to be playing the A's in the full game week because they have 4 games. I'll be the only person that uses A's in the daily. They got a great matchup against Corbin, Brent Rooker. I'm gonna call my bomb right now. Brent Rooker hitting a bomb tonight. They got Corbin, DeGrom, Eovaldi, Molly. So they do have 4 games this game week, but again, not the best pitching matchup. They're in Texas. They're off of the Sacramento Coors Field. So the D-backs have 3 games this game week. They are in New York. They got Peterson, Senga, and Clay Holmes. So probably not the best D-back spot. The Rockies are leaving. No, I'm sorry. They are in Colorado. So we got another Coors Field game. And look at the Braves. Braves get Feltner, Germain, Marquez, and Dollander. So the Braves are going to be the chalky stack. And it's going to be interesting to see how people approach it because would you rather have the Braves in Coors Field for 3 games or the Athletics in Texas for 4 games? Weigh in on the chat. That'll be a fun one. Okay, the Bows, they're taking on the Skanks. They're going up against Will Warren, Carlos Rodon, and Carlos Carrasco. My hot take, so I was talking about this in the Discord. I think I'm rolling out Rodon as my ace, my number 1 pitcher this weekend. Yeah, I know he's like pretty volatile, but he's high strikeout, good matchup against the O's. I don't know. The Sox, who have been like the favorite stack of each game week for me for the last like 3 or 4 game weeks, they've got brutal matchups here against Toronto. Although I thought we knew who the starter was, but now maybe not. They're going against Francis and Jose Berrios. They are in Toronto. Only 3 games this game week and then a TBD. Cubbies are traveling to Pittsburgh. They get the lefty Heaney, Malinsinski, I don't know, and then Skeens. So not the best matchup for the Cubbies. The following game week is going to be fun against the Brew Crew breakthrough. What else? We get the Reds with 4 games, baby. Reds with 4 games, and they're all at home. Great American Small Park, mother. We've got Payente, the reliever for the Cards, although he's not really a reliever anymore, but he is in SORARE. Payente, you got Mikolas and Liberatore. And then Sonny Gray. So not like the best of matchups, but again, I like that they're at home. I'm not really scared of the first 3. Sonny Gray, too, is beatable. Guardians got a 4-gamer against the Twinkies. You got Bailey Ober, Chris Paddock, Pablo Lopez, and Simeon Richardson. So I don't know why I'm doing that with the voice. Apologies. That's fine. Middle of the road there for the Guards. Not like super excited about it, but I think you can do it. We got Rocks. I mentioned them. So they got Elder tonight. And then they're TBD. And then Chris Sale, followed by Verlander for their 4th game against the Giants. So Rockies, their offense kind of sucks, man. They woke up a little bit this past game week. But again, Doyle missed the game. A lot of Kyle Farmer. Tigers, the Tigres, they got 4 games. 3 against the Astros, and then they get Hendricks. So the Astros like Blanco, Gusto, and Wisniewski, but then they've got Hendricks for that first game. I think the Tigers might be kind of a sneaky stat. Well, not sneaky because they have 4 games, but I don't know if they're like anyone's excited to roll them out against the Astros. But to get Hendricks at the end of that, it's kind of a nice one. Maybe you just save that for Daly. I don't know. Royals have 3 games against the Rays. This is not fun for them. Bradley, Rasmussen, and Baz. Save your Royals for the next game week against the Orioles. The Angels are on the road going up north, Pacific Northwest, to take on the Mariners, and then 4 games sitting against the Tigres. So they got Bryce Miller, Emerson Hancock, and then Casey Mize there at the end. Yeah, you're probably not. Again, daily. The Dodgers, they've got Cabrera, Alcantara, and then Quantrill. So that's a really fun setup there for that 3rd game against Miami. Quantrill, just an absolute gas can. Then you get the Marlins here on the flip side of that matchup against the Dodgers. May, Gonsolin, and Yamamoto. I don't know if anybody's playing Miami. They're at least at it's funny, I don't know if the Dodgers is considered like a park upgrade for most places, but it is for Miami, so I guess that's fine. Brew Crew get the White Sox. This is a pretty good matchup here, where they've got Wilson, Smith, and Burke, all pretty shitty pitchers, and they are at Chicago. Again, I think they'd be a more popular stack if they were home. But I think that's still fine. Twinkies, I feel like the Twins have been playing a lot of games lately. So they got the guards. They've got Williams, Bibi, and Ortiz, followed by Lively. And then they're heading to Boston. Shout out Dropkick Murphys for Walker, Bueller, Bayo, and Newcomb. So Twins are going to be a popular stack this game week and the next one. I think that's at Boston is a nice park upgrade against those pitchers of Boston you're not too scared of, especially with Duke Newcomb there throwing at the end. Mets are finishing up their series against the Natties tonight against Trevor Williams, and then they get Eduardo Rodriguez, Corbin Burns, and Zach Gallen. So not really fun Mets stuff. Maybe just save them, roll them out for your daily game tonight in that matchup against Trevor Williams. But I don't know how excited you are to be in Arizona going up against Eduardo Burns and Gallen. But then they get Fetty Wap in the next game week, so that's kind of fun. Skanks, right? They got Sagano and Povich. We don't know who's throwing the third, that middle game. Yankees are going to be a fun stack, I think. They could definitely do some numbers in Baltimore against those matchups. The Phillies here, Mackenzie Gore, okay? But then they get Irvin and Lord. And so the Phillies are, famous for putting up some crooked numbers, even though they're off to a weird start. I think you can get there. Gore is the only matchup you're not really thrilled about. Pirates, we mentioned, are hosting the Cubbies. They got Imanaga, Boyd, and Ray. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the Pirates, man. How about that bomb O'Neal Cruz hit, huh? Hit that like 500 feet. It wasn't that long, but he just crushed that thing. All right, here are two or a couple matchups coming up. So Padres and Giants, I believe, are both only. Oh no, excuse me, just the Dads. The Dads are playing 2 games. They only have 2 games against the Giants. They get Logan Webb and probably not playing any of the Padres. The Giants, on the other hand, they do have that 2 games against the Padres, but then they head to Coors. So this game week, you get Pavetta. And then you get King, so that's not great. But, man, if you want to save your Giants and roll them out against Freeland in the daily contest on that third day, bombs away. Mariners, also a team with only 2 games this game week, which is a bummer because I got the Julio Rodriguez. And they're in a great matchup tomorrow against Coconowitz. And then Anderson the next day, too. So that's fun. That is fun. Man, we're talking a lot, boys. We're talking a lot. We've got only a few left. The Cardinals here. So, they again, Great American Small Park. They get Martinez, Singer, and Abbott, and then Green. Cardinals aren't like a fun team to stack up, but I think you could do worse here. None of these pitchers are overwhelming until you get to Green, and even Green is still beatable. Again, I haven't checked the weather in Cincinnati, but that's a good place to play. The Rays here have a 3-game series against the Royals with Lorenzen. We don't know who's throwing the second day, and then Lugo. Rays are fine. Rangers here, man, maybe we were sleeping on the Rangers a little bit, and we should be attacking the Texas Rangers. Although, man, Corey Seager going to the IL for 10 days kind of sucked. But they get Sears, Gin, Severino, and Springs. I don't know, man. At home, it's worse places to be. Yeah, cruise missile. Hell yeah. That was really a bomb. I don't normally just search for highlights on Twitter, but that was a good one. Blue Jays get the Sox. Oh, Giolito's back? I missed that. Welcome back, Giolito, Gelato. We got Crochet, Gelato, and Hawk. The Blue Jays not really the best matchups there. Hawk is super boom bust, man. He's either going to strike out 15 or get let up 15. And then the last spot, Natty's sneaky good offense, man. 4 games. We got Canning against the Mets, and then a 3-game series against the Phillies, where they get Wheeler, Walker, which is like super beatable. Nats might be like low key sneaky this game week. I don't know how many people are excited to play Washington. I feel like that's a fun one. All right, I'm going to build some lineups here, and then we'll get out of here. So I want to do it let me clear this. Hold on. Let's set the lineup. Let's clear it before I share screen. I think I got to confirm it and clear it. Sometimes the UI, boys. Sometimes the UI, not my favorite. All right, let's clear this team. Let me walk you through what I was thinking. And I'm going to need DJ Local's help here when we're talking about the starting pitcher. Windy City says, play Javier Baez. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Also, yeah, if you guys still have hoops questions, throw them in there. So looking at these starters, I do have Crochet against Toronto, King against the Giants. I mentioned Rodon against the Orioles. I've got some Shane Baz, Rasmussen. We got Bryce Miller, Renel Blanco, DeGrom against the A's. Verlander down here. Am I crazy for thinking that to play Rodon over Crochet? Or am I overthinking it? Should I just be playing Crochet? Because I just think Rodon's ceiling is just crazy high. Just against the matchup against Baltimore, I feel like his strikeout numbers. I mean, maybe it's just recency bias, but I keep waiting for him to get blown up. I don't know. What are you recommended sites to scout for matchups in MLB and NBA? For MLB, man, I've just been shout out our guy Jump Shoot. I'll drop a link in the chat. I've just been using the MLB hitter thing where it breaks down like who you're going up against, who the pitchers are going up against, and their rankings and stuff. That's a free site. I just dropped that link into the chat. And then for NBA, I've been using top tier projections. Yeah, I'm with you, DJ Local. All right, that's all I needed to hear. Let's just start it with Rodon. And then for relief pitchers here, so I'm going to keep Clay Holmes and Bowden Francis and Piente out. I'm going to save them for daily since that's what everybody said to do. And then I think I'm just going to roll with Mason Miller, even though I don't know how many times they're going to be favored. I know he's been pitching like every other day. We have Munoz, who pitched most recent game, but then had 2 days off before that. Chapman's barely pitched, so I guess if we think the Red Sox are favored, we should go to Chapman. But how would you rank my relief pitchers there? I'd go. I think I like Mason the best. Even though he's pitched every other day, I'm not like too nervous about that, right? Or is anybody taking Chapman over Mason there? I feel like it's just Mason. I'm going to plug Mason in there until you guys tell me I'm an idiot, which I'd be fair. And you guys still agree taking relieving pitchers over taking like closers over starters who are relief pitchers? Or would you throw in, 4 games for Mason? Okay, thank you. Now, what's up, Snoop Loop? Good to see you, bro. All right, so this is what I was thinking here. Athletics with 4 games. We're due for at least one Soderbaum, right? I figured I'd throw Soderbaum in there. And then for the middle infielder, I was just going to go McLean. And then for the outfielder, I was actually going to go Friedel, Deedle over Tucker and Corbin. I think I'm going to save these fellas for my daily. I think I'm going to go throw Friedel, Deedle in there. Because, again, all these guys have 4 games. Now, I think it gets fun here. I think I could go Buxton. Buxton here for the Twins. What other Twins do I have? We've got Buxton, we've got Larnach, Wallner's hurt, Willie Castro's hurt. So I think it's just Buxton. The other Athletics we have, I know I mentioned Rooker, who I do think I want to get in one of these. We have Rooker, Jai Blood Eye. We also got Bangaliers down here, Shea Langoliers, and then Lawrence Butler. I think Buxton is the best play in this squad. And then I think I want to just do one more A. And I kind of like that's a good point, DJ Local. Thank you. I think I like Rooker the best. I feel like we're getting a Rooker bomb. I think Rooker is my next favorite A to get in there. So let's do it. Let's get that A. And I don't think we need to do a full stack. We'll do like a mini stack here. Because the other thing we could have done is focus in JJ, Blade, and Butler. But I think what we do instead is play them in the second lineup. Because, again, they are going to go against DeGrom one of those games. Although DeGrom doesn't seem to have that same oomph that he's had in previous years. So let's fire this up unless there's any concerns. You can see Buxton sitting one day, though. He just prepare for 3 games. That's a good point. All right, well, maybe should we save Buxton? What if let's just do a full A stack then? Let's do an A stack. Let's throw in Bangaliers, or I think the stealing upside of Butler. Let's throw Butler, Rooker, Soderbaum with Friedel, Deedle, and McLean, and then we got Rodon and Miller. So let's do that. Let's do another one here. We can throw Crochet. Let's do a Crochet Chapman stack for this one. Let's throw them together. Larney against 4 righties. All right, Aussie Sports. Maybe we can get a little Larney in this one. Let's see what else. I think we probably have to throw some more Kyle Farmer. Wait, do the Rockies have 4 games too? Did I miss that? Oh, but one of them's on the road. Interesting. Is Christian Encarnacion Strand still out? Yeah, he's still out. And Jonah Bride. I forgot I got a Jonah Bride. Interesting. All right, we might throw some. Do we throw Rockies in this one? Is that crazy? I don't know. What to do here. Do you want 3 games of Rafi Devers or 4 games of Ryan McMahon? I think we just do. Although I don't love their matchup. Maybe Vientos. Oh, Vientos. They have 4 games. Vientos with 4 games is pretty good. Maybe we just do Vientos there. He's got some bomb upside. Yeah, McMahon has been so bad. Seager would be a great play, except he's hurt. Let's throw Bangaliers in here. We might throw Blood Eye, J Blood Eye. We'll do another A's stack here. We'll throw in the Bucks. Let's do a mini twin stack for the last two spots. We'll end Lonark, who people were excited about. There we go. That's kind of fun. So 2 A's, Vientos, 1 off, Sox stack. There we go. Let's do it. I'll throw Rockies in, although maybe the Rockies I should be saving for the daily. I don't know. For our last pitching spot, we got the King, Michael King. We got Emerson Bigcock, Shane Baz against we might throw Bazzy. Bazzy's got some real high K upside. Or DeGrom. Yeah, let's do DeGrom. We don't have any A's for this lineup, I don't think. So we'll throw DeGrom in there. Let's throw Munoz in this one. And then I don't know. Do we do the Red Sox stack? Do we do the Rocky stack? Actually, let's just do the Rocky stack. Let's do that. We got although is Farmer going to play all the games? You got to watch out for Big Pharma. You got him for 23. Because we could just we should just go buy some shit. Let's look at the marketplace. Guys. Who should I be buying? Let me look at what's the Braves stacks looking like these days. Because we haven't talked enough about the Braves. Wow, that's weird. Zoomed in right here. Let's look at corner, middle, outfield. Because I think I have like $20, right? How much cash do I have right now? I got $18. Who can we get for $18? Who are your favorite A's here? We've got Michael Harris is $10. Profar suspended. Shout out them drugs. Should I pick up a Brave? What are we thinking here? I need some advice from the chat. Ozuna. People saying Ozuna. Rockies throw up. I know. Grab Polanco while he's cheap. We got Vientos in there. Grab a Polanco. Which Polanco? Jorge? Is Jorge balling? Jorge's balling. Only $5, but they only have 2. All right, I'll pick him up after this. God, I don't really know what to do. Ozuna, you really think Ozuna's the play this game week? I wouldn't mind getting a Brave in there. $11. How do we think? I need somebody else to weigh in. I don't trust Windy City Assassin. I'm just playing. I do. I know, Snoop. The Rockies, Sakis, they are bad. Has Ozuna been balling? I don't know. Maybe I should just save my money. I don't really know. The Reds, I don't really know either. I don't really know. We're not going to buy anything. Let's go back. Let's focus. Zakarian. Let's focus on this third team. Let's get to work. We're going to stick with the Rockies. I don't think anybody wants to play the Rockies, so we're going to do it. We're not going to do the full stack, though. We're just going to throw Doyle and McMahon in there. We'll just do that. And then for middle infielder, let's find somebody. I want to save the Sox because I think I want to use my Shocks for some daily stuff. We could go Nico Horner. We did get Nico Horner on the team. Kyber Ruiz, Jazz Chiz. Anybody else? Kyle Farmer, man, it really wants me to play Farmer, and I really don't want to. But again, the stacks. It's all about the stacks. Let's throw Horner in there, and then we'll throw Tucker and Carroll. How about that? We'll throw Tuck and Carroll, King Tuck and Corbin. Not the best matchups in the world, but I kind of want to save them for daily. But whatever. We're going to do some Sox stacks. There we go. Bang. Well, let's get him in there. They should. That was a good one, Snoop. That was a good one. All right, let's figure out this daily squad, and then we'll roll. And then again, if you guys have any more basketball questions, feel free to throw them in there. All right, we're gonna go Blanco. Did they change Piente's designation? Oh no, they didn't. All right, our relief pitcher is Piente. There we go. Then we're gonna throw in. We'll do another Rockies, a little Rockies mini, as they say. I'm not really scared of Bryce Elder in this economy. Wow, where are all my cards? How do I not have more cards? Let's do Bellinger, Jazz, and then we can throw another pitcher in there. How many other? That's it? We don't have any other pitchers? Wow. All right, let's throw Goldschmidt in there. We'll do a 3-man. All right, that's the only one we're going to build. We're not going to build both of them. We're out of starters. Dante Bichette used to play in a senior baseball league, and they banned aluminum bats. I think I remember reading something about that. Dude, shout out Dante Bichette, Andres Galarraga. Those are the best days. All right, dogs. We're going to call it there. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Just a reminder, if you came in late, we're going to be doing, we did an NBA show at the top. We covered tonight's 2 games. Because there's 4 NBA games tomorrow, we'll do another show tomorrow afternoon. So don't think that you missed it or we didn't cover it. We'll still do another show tomorrow. If we have at least 4 games, we'll definitely do it. So good luck out there. I know there's still a handful of you. Our guy Super Carl. There's some other people chasing a sweat in the daily contest on SORARE NBA. Best of luck. Let's get out there. Let's win. Let's win.